Sup, dog? I was scrolling through YouTube, just as I usually do, seeing news and politics and gaming slop and whatever have you. And I found this guy, Yogario or whatever, the finals, and he's basically has a title that says, "This is how I detect cheaters." And when I scrolled over it, you know how sometimes YouTube has like your first couple of seconds, it'll just show in the thumbnail. It says, "I used to cheat." That's what he said. So I'm like a little bit interested about the cheating epidemic in the finals because if it's anything like Tarkov or our creators, it's a problem that keeps persisting. So this is the video. It's literally, it says, I'm going to share why he cheated. This is how I detect cheaters. So he's basically saying he's a cheater and he knows how to find other cheaters. He says, I used to cheat years ago. In this video, I'm sharing what that experience taught me, how cheaters try to hide their cheats, and the signs I personally took for when I suspect someone's cheating in the finals. Well, the first thing I want to know is why'd you cheat, dog? Because that's a no-no, man. That's a no-no. You gotta have skill, man. He gave him $20. Who the fuck gave this guy $20? This video is way better than I expected. The effort really shows. Great work, bro. It's probably a family member. Who knows? $20? That's crazy. Yo, shout outs to getting that money, dog, but that's wild. My favorite types of games are the ones you can counter cheaters with built-in mechanics. Back in Rainbow Six Siege, we all use riot shields and then exploit. Oh yeah, I remember some of those days as well. Those were pretty fun. Unfortunately, there's no instant replay in Point Blank, and you betcha the cheaters love that. Oh yeah, there you go. I hate when people say once a cheater, always a cheater, because it implies that all people are incapable of changing. You're the best counter argument to that. Once a cheater, always a cheater. Yeah, but there's always redemption, right? There's always redemption. You got to give people the chance to redeem, to be better than what they are. So let's give this man some credit. If he used to cheat and he's not a cheater anymore, let's celebrate that. But let's watch the video.
I share a secret with you. I used to cheat a lot. And today, I want to talk about how it affected me and how it taught me to detect cheaters much faster than most people.
How it affected you? You kept winning. Like, what are you talking about, dog?
Most people don't know this, but I started cheating when I was 7 years old. There was this game called War Rock, and I really enjoyed playing it. But there was one major problem. There were a lot of cheaters.
War Rock? What the fuck is that game? I've never even heard that game. War Rock? What is it?
At some point, it was almost impossible to end up in a lobby without one. I had a friend who sent me cheats through Microsoft Messenger. I know I'm old. So I started cheating too. Not because it was fun, but because I wanted to feel like I was finally playing on equal ground. Now, you might be asking,
I didn't cheat because it was fun. I wanted to cheat so I could be on equal ground. So you could have fun. Because you kept losing, you loser. But you know what? This guy was like little when this happened, so fuck it. But
why are you telling us this? Just trust me, I'll explain. The next FPS game I cheated in was Counter-Strike. I had the exact same reason there too. I just wanted to feel equal because there were so many cheaters in the game. But I wasn't.
No. Right there. You wanted to feel equal because there's so many cheaters in the game. That is false. There is a lot of cheaters in Counter-Strike, but at the same time, there's also different servers and even in ranked. So there is a possibility of cheaters in those games, but you don't want to fight. Why would you fight on equal ground? It's just cheater 1 versus cheater 2, and if you have the same cheats, there's no strategy. The fact that you say you're not doing it because you want to have fun, you want to do it so you be on equal ground is a bad argument, because at the same time, if you're trying to be on equal ground with a cheater, or not even a cheater, but just be on equal ground, that means you want to try to win. So instead of saying, how can I get good and win a game, Counter-Strike there's some skill to it, but it's fairly easy. You just, you aim and you shoot. So you can't aim and shoot. So I don't like that. I don't like the use of that soft language to hide as cheat. Just own up to it. Say you wanted to cheat because you wanted to win, you wanted to feel good, and then once you did it, you felt empty inside. Easy. Then we can move on, all right?
Just turning on cheats and blasting everyone. I simply had them available. And whenever I knew the enemy team had a cheater, I turned them on too. If nobody was cheating, everything was fine. I gained a lot of experience from that. Now.
Okay, so now you're saying if they're cheating, you turn it on to prevent. So you're like the Robin Hood of cheaters. You're like, I'm gonna defend you from the evil cheater corporation. Got it. Even then, it's noble, but how do you know for a fact the other guy's cheating? unless you see a kill cam and you see him like just getting headshots all over the place, or he's a knower, right? If he's using those programs so he can see everything. But then how would you know that? Right off the bat, I'm kind of like skeptical.
Overwatch was a community-driven system in CSGO, where players reviewed suspicious matches and tried to determine whether someone was cheating. Funny
Okay.
enough, I joined it. I reviewed hundreds of cases, and over time, I got really good at spotting the difference between a good player and a cheater. Think of it like a superpower. I'm not gonna be humble about this because I'm actually insanely good at detecting cheaters.
So it's a superpower. So because you're a cheater. Okay, dog. Okay.
The reason for cheating was never about winning more games or feeling better. I just wanted to feel equal. But I stopped cheating almost 10
Why do you want to feel equal to the cheater? If a cheater cheats, you just vote kick him. You just vote kick the cheater, or you just get into a new game because you realize the game's already screwed. I don't understand why people want to try to feel equal against cheaters. Cheaters aren't playing the same game as you. They're either they're either A, very depressed and they want to have a little power fantasy, so they use cheating because they can't really rely on using their own skill. Or two, they're using cheating so they could get all loot or all whatever monetary value to thus sell to people because they don't have time to play the game. They've done that in MMOs when they have like certain accounts where they just sell you and be like, "Hey, you want this account with everything done already?" And then the rich person's like, "Oh yeah, here's $500 because I don't have time to make a character." That is still scummy, but those are the two ways of cheating. So the fact that the guy's like, "I didn't do it to feel good. I did it be on equal ground." When you get to equal ground, does it make you feel good? Probably, because you're not losing because you have a fucking sheep. So I don't like that argument at all, dog.
years ago, maybe even more. Even if I saw it as revenge back then, eventually I realized it wasn't worth it. All it does is encourage more people to cheat too. And by the way, I'll never cheat in the finals. Winning more games with cheat
Well, I don't know if I can trust you on that, but yeah, respect. So if you're using it to counter the cheaters and be the Robin Hood of cheaters, that's a little more noble. I think people could get behind that. Uh, but yeah, that also just encourage more cheaters because then if you have a cheat and they have a cheat, and then everyone's using cheat, everyone's got a cheat, and you just devoid the purpose of the game is just to play. Think about this: you're playing chess, the granddaddy game of them all, chess, and you have you're trying to cheat in chess because you're not that good of like knowing moves and whatever. So then you put anal beads and you have someone use vibration to tell you which move to do, and then everyone has anal beads. I don't want chess to devolve into anal beads, dog. Let chess be chess, all right?
cheats shouldn't be the fun part of the finals. Now that you know how it all started, let me tell you what these experiences taught me and how they turned me into someone who can usually tell whether the enemy is cheating or not. But keep in mind, some of these signs are really subtle. Before we start, you need to understand 3 common types of cheats: aimbots, trigger bots, and wall hack.
True. Aimbots, trigger bots, and whatever the fuck you said. All 3 is true, correct.
Aimbot is pretty simple. It locks your aim onto an enemy player, and
You never cheat in the finals? How'd you get this footage, dog?
even while shooting, your weapon doesn't behave the way it normally should. Most of your bullets will stay on target, depending on the weapon's original recoil and spread. So
Damn.
if you're using a weapon with a wide spread at long range, it doesn't necessarily mean every bullet will hit, but the cheat still helps keep your aim locked onto the target. Then there is Triggerbot. Triggerbot automatically shoots when your crosshair touches an enemy. Alright, now that you know these 3 cheats, let me tell you how I identify cheaters in this game. It's not just
How?
about someone turning on cheats and instantly killing everyone they see. Remember, they have a brain too. A small one, but still a brain. One thing I've noticed that most cheaters understand when they're being watched. If their teammates are dead, those teammates will probably be spectating them. Because of that, many cheaters avoid using obvious cheats during those moments. They
That
know
makes
that
sense.
if enough people
That makes
report them,
sense.
they will
You see, the thing is like you're doing all this work to hide your cheats. All this work could have been put into the game that you're playing. That's what I don't get. The people that get cheats to be better on equal ground, you could use all that time to like hide your cheats to actually just hide your character and not get shot. Or actually, you put the curse, the little dot on the enemy and then shoot him. Again, I have little to no respect for anybody that use cheats to be on to be good because the main purpose of the game is to just be better at the game. So that's dumb. And again, the second is cheaters that use it for making money, but I give them a little more respect because they're trying to hustle. But even then, they're hustling in a stupid, scummy ass way that harms the whole life of the game. Because if think about this, if everyone's playing a game that you know and everyone you know is a hacker, why would you play that game? Look at Tarkov. Tarkov, there's still some people that play it, the hardcore people that love that game, and they only love that game because they spent $250 for Unheard Edition. But the fact is that most of those people used to play that game until that video came out, the wiggle that killed Tarkov. Now nobody plays that game. They all went to Arc Raiders, and then those people are going to move when they find out those cheaters exist. So it's like cheating is just horrible for the environment and the lifespan of a multiplayer game.
To the game. Most people don't even use instant replay, but they should. The more people watch suspicious players, the harder it becomes for cheaters to hide what they're doing. And that's exactly what they're afraid of. In one of my previous videos, I talked about something I call final round cheaters. They operate using the exact same logic. Their goal is to minimize reports, so they avoid cheating during the first 2 rounds. Then, once they reach the final round, they suddenly turn everything on. And why?
Little
Because in the
sus.
final round, only 3 people can report them. And that's assuming all 3 players even realize they are cheating in the first place. Feels off, the first thing I look at is their aim. Because even though I expect great aim from
Okay, so you're basically saying look at the kill cam, look at the aim, look at their positioning. This is all good logical steps to figure out if there's a cheater.
instead, they move around the enemy's body while manipulating the bullet spread so the shots still land. And
Oh
again,
yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that in a few of the games. I don't remember that sheet. That I want to say it was very bad scav in Tarkov, where like someone was shooting a gun, and he was looking at the video, and the bullets were like, "Wah!" It's like, dude, this guy is cheating, dude.
that doesn't look natural either. It's a little difficult to explain if you've never used or seen cheats before. So you can also look at something else. Behavior. Which brings us to the last topic. Look, cheaters behave differently. They trust their cheats so much that their entire playstyle changes. And that's detectable. To understand it, you need to think about the role they're supposed to.
Well, it's probably they're just they use it as a crutch. It's like a habit for them. So they'll always just they'll play in a way where the heavy lifting is done by the cheat. So uh, that will turn into a pattern, and you can see it. I wonder if he's going to say that.
Play. For example, let's say the enemy team has 2 heavies and 1 light, and you suspect the light is cheating. Ask yourself, what is that player's role on the team? What weapon is he using? So let's say he is using an LH1. A great light player with an LH1 and 2 heavies on his team would usually support from behind or play off angles to pick enemies apart. In other words, he'd play like a flanker. But when someone has cheats, they often become much more aggressive. They start fight themselves, they play on the front line. Why?
I don't know about that one. I've used weapons that are supposed to be long range or close. Different role. I use a shotgun for far away. I use a sniper for close. That's not optimal, but sometimes you get forced in those engagements. So I think that is a weak example. It's not. I don't want to throw the example out the way. I just think it's a weak version. His other stuff was pretty strong.
They don't even need aimbot. So if things go south and both of his teammates die, he still knows exactly where everyone is. These players are much harder to catch because if they're already good players,
You see, you have these examples that are really they're fine verbally. I think it would be even better if you actually had that particular example that you're talking about. Right now I'm watching, your gameplay, and I don't know what your gameplay is probably just gameplay, but in the beginning where you talk about a certain amount of cheats, and then I made the joke like, how do we know this is not you cheating in the finals? But it was still a good example to show some people, because if people don't know what cheats are, yeah, they look like red boxes to tell you like all the information you need to know. Like, oh, this guy's looking at you. This is where he's at, right? That was a good example, a visual example to what you're talking about. You're telling me about this example verbally, which makes sense. But if you had actually got the video recording, I think it would be a much more powerful example for people to understand and be on your side.
That's Embark's job. But at the end of the day, we are the ones playing the game. And honestly, I'm sick and tired of these ruining it. Sometimes I can't.
Respect. Same dog. Those motherfuckers destroy environments. They're like a parasite. They're like locusts. They come in, they make a game really unplayable for the common person. Because remember, there are some people that have mental illness and they will just eat shit sandwiches saying, "Oh, the game's so good, the game's so good." And it's like sometimes the game is not that good. You're just eating the shit sandwich. And it's mostly because of the cheaters. The cheaters are making it shitty. So those people will always do that. But the normies, a typical 9 to 5, and they get down. They're like, you know what? I'm going to play a few hours of this game, get a little engaged, have a little bit of fun. Those people are the majority, and then the people that are really into the game, they're still a part of that majority. A little more on the niche side, but still a core. Those are the top two demographics who play these games. Cheaters are very little, but when they come in, they make those people drive away. And guess what happens when the normies go away? They don't get the money. Embark gets no money from these guys, so then the game dies, and then it's over. Then it's over, dude. So it's good to try to see if someone is cheating. Report if they're cheating or whatever. Just I agree with the man. You have to report these cheaters. You got to show the proof and say this guy is ass.
Even play 3 games in a row without running into a cheater. The worst part is that some players don't even realize they're cheating. They think they're just incredibly skilled players. And as a result...
No, they do know they're cheating. They do know they're cheating. And they've been cheating for so long, they think they're good because they forgot they had it on. But they're cheating.
Some players quit the game because they assume there is some massive skill gap they can never overcome. And yes, there are absolutely insane players out there, but you shouldn't be running into them this often. You need to understand that some of those players are actually cheating. I just hope that one day people realize cheating isn't fun for anyone. Not for you and not for the people you're playing against.
Well, like you said, you need more awareness because some people don't know that cheaters just destroy ecosystems. They destroy games that we love. If you want a game to succeed, first you got to have an engaging game, right? The gameplay must be engaging. 2, should be fun, right? Or relatively fun. And 3, it has a nice, healthy population of normies. I know we want to try to gatekeep everybody because we don't want our game to be like, some woke God of War, Queen of War, where you don't want the game to just, be remade or remaked into oblivion, into some Netflix woke garbage or whatever. You want to gatekeep some people out, but you have to have their money. So you have to get the normies, the people that don't have mental illness problems. They're just like, hey, this game looks fun. What is it about? Can I play? Be like, yeah, dog. Why don't you, try it out. That's what you need for the game to succeed. Hackers and cheaters and all those people, they just it's not fun, and they're basically losers. They're losers.
Game is great. It offers so many different playstyles, gadgets, weapons, and game modes. Please let us enjoy it and stop cheating. And as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
Nice. And then there's the outro. Subscribe? ? Oh, Quirk Chungus, I'll subscribe. Yeah, I might subscribe. Fuck it. Man, I was about to subscribe. Your clips and music. It's just music and clips at the end. That's a long outro, dude. You have about 2 minutes of your cool shit, dude. I mean, I guess, but I think it's 2 minutes because he didn't know what else to say. Even though I shit on you, Mr. Yogaru, the finals, I'll subscribe. I'll like it. I'll give you some love, dog. I feel like you're trying to make a 10-minute mark so the YouTube algorithm, helps you out, because no one does 2 minutes of just clips and music. But at that point, most people will fall off after the message. I sound like the critical drinker, dude. It was a decent video. Basically, you're trying to cope that you cheated to be on equal ground, which is it's just cope, dude. You wanted to cheat so you could feel better. It's one thing if you did want to cheat to fight the cheaters, you should have just said that. But I think you had a little guilty little guilty tone in that voice. But you did say you were like fucking young when you cheated. So I mean, you're just a dumb kid. But anyways, but you know what? It was good lore. At least you change. At least you stop cheating, and you are the Robin Hood of cheaters. And you cheat to save the poor, and we're very poor with the lack of wins from these cheaters. So props to you, man. So that's the video of Yogiro, I think, the finals. Like and sub to him, give him some love. The video is not bad, but yeah, I was scrolling and your video popped of how you detect cheaters. I thought you were going to do like, the wiggle that killed Tarkov and be like, is that a way to do it? But it's just mostly like it was more like a PSA of like how to find these cheaters. And I agree. You find them using the replay function, right? If there's a kill cam, you can see like, oh, he's hella aimbotting because his cursor is going crazy. And you did another thing about sometimes when the cursor goes, it automatically shoots. That I don't think a lot of people know about that type of hacks. That was very good PSA about that. And then also just how they try to hide their cheats, which is something that normies don't understand. Some hackers, some cheaters will just use their cheats and then they just turn them off. So then you're like, was that just a really good play? But like you don't know, right? And then until they turn them back on. Even when they turn those cheats back on, you could definitely see that they're cheating. Like hardcore, dude. Oh, cool. My video came in the algorithm. Yeah, go watch my a live internet theory. I was playing with Papa Cow and Shooty Tang. He's a duck VTuber I found on Instagram. But yeah, this is my video, dog. That's kind of cool. The algorithm is working. Yes, thank you. Thank you, internet gods. I was scrolling YouTube and I saw this video and I was like, you know what? It's not bad. This guy's got almost 2K of subscribers and he's hustling, dog. He's got like 20K almost every video. Damn. He's got members only. Damn, dog. You popular. Yeah, his content's pretty good. So, anyways, cheaters suck. They're losers, and we just need to shame them. Shame them, dog. There's very, very little redeeming value of cheaters. And I'm glad this guy he called it out. He said, dog, I used to cheat. I don't do that anymore. So respect that he redeemed himself. And I hope he keeps making good content, man. This content is not bad. It's not good because you use 2 minutes for clips of music, dog. But you know what? You tried. I give more respect for people who fucking try than to not do anything at all, right? Because content's content. All right. Anyways, I'll see you on the next one. Bye.